We are back, and joining us now is Christopher Wheeldon and the Wheeldon Company, Morphoses. You're going to be seeing more of that tonight with the Up Close series. It continues at the Vail Center. And Christopher, it's so great to have you here and to have the dancers back. Last year, you made your debut performance, and tonight, people are going to get a little behind-the-scenes look at what you've been working on since the dancers and you've been here. Absolutely.
The wonderful thing about our residency here in Vail is that we get the chance to really show kind of two sides of the company. We have the Up Close program tonight, which gives the audience kind of I suppose, a more intimate view of how we operate. Yeah. You know, of what the dance world is about, how ballets get put together, how they get created. And so this year, what we decided to do was to invite 3 choreographers to come and be part of our Vail residency here, work with us for 10 days, and create new work specifically for this program this evening. So what the audience are going to see is not necessarily an evening of complete work, but actually we'll be talking a lot about the process, each individual choreographer's process, how they get inspired by music, how they translate that music into movement, and how the dancers then communicate that movement to the audience. Because to me, I think it's really important that people come even to our rep performance on Friday, which is more like a regular performance, with a little bit more of an understanding of an insight and a knowledge of the personalities of the dancers and how it is we kind of got from A to B.
Well, I think it's so interesting how you talk about, you know, what inspires them, and, you know, did they pick the music first? Do they have a move in their head that they think, okay, and then that would go with the music?
I don't think people really understand how ballets get put together. It's a long process. It's a wonderful process that you know, can last months, where choreographers and dancers work very closely together in a studio, inspiring one another, working on movements, finding movements that haven't been seen before, and then incorporating those with sort of more, I suppose, more traditional classical ballet movements. It's a great kind of sense of exploration, and I think it makes it more fascinating when you then go to a regular ballet performance to understand, you know, sort of what's gone into it.
Yeah, and you know what, we were so wowed last year, you know, bringing the crowd to their feet, and that was the first time that Vail had seen Morphoses and the Wheeldon Company.
It's the first time anyone had seen Morphoses, really? Yeah.
That's so amazing.
It's very exciting.
And I just want to show this picture. This is part of the program, and just, you know, just the intricate moves and what you can create, and of course, they're doing this as a flow. You make it look so easy that the music is going along with it as well.
Well, it's interesting because this final pose, it's the final pose of Fool's Paradise, which is the final ballet on the program on Friday. And it was created, the first half of the ballet was created here in Vail last year, and then we went back to New York and finished it off, and we world premiered it in London at Sadler's Wells. So this year will be the first chance that Vail will have to see the complete work that actually was created on, part of which was created on the stage at the Ford Amphitheatre.
Oh, wow.
So, it's sort of exciting, and the pose itself is made up of individual elements from within the ballet, so it's a little bit like a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, I was trying to count, I was like, oh wait, there's another person back there, you know, I mean, it was so interesting.
Like each of these moves happens at some point during the piece individually, and then at the end they kind of come together like a jigsaw.
Okay, oh, that's so amazing. And so you've invited 3 choreographers to come out here, so you guys have just been working like mad for the last 10 days.
We've been going crazy, and we've been out of breath a lot while we've been here.
I can imagine, I know. I mean, just thinking about the altitude, and I know that sometimes there's oxygen behind on the stage.
Yeah.
And I was telling you before we came live during the interview that you guys still make it look so easy. It looks effortless.
That's the idea, but there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that go into that. What's been wonderful for us is Damien Wetzel, the director, has set us up in sort of an HQ over at the Vail Mountain School.
Yeah.
He's put dance floors in the gyms and even in the cafeteria there. So we've been, the great thing is that we've been sort of contained in one space, so we've been able to do a lot of rotating of rehearsals. But it's been a brutal schedule, and the dancers are definitely feeling the altitude.
Now, before you got here, did you have a chance to talk to the different choreographers and kind of get the ideas flowing, or is this just when you get here, the work begins?
I briefed them basically by saying, you guys, it's a pretty tall order, the challenge that I've set them. They had to come in first day, not knowing the group of dancers, pretty much cast their ballet just from watching the daily ballet class, And then they went straight into rehearsal that day, not sure of sort of the numbers of dancers they would be using. It was really sort of a challenge, because normally if you're hired to go to a ballet company, you would go and you'd spend a few days prior to working and you would pick your dancers and figure out the structure of your ballet. So it was sort of, you know, in at the deep end a little bit, but they've all handled it so well, and I'm really excited about tonight.
And would you classify what you're going to be showing us tonight and on Friday? Is it more traditional ballet? Is it more modern dance?
It's contemporary ballet. The three choreographers, Edward Liang, who dances for us as well, he's in that picture.
Okay.
Adam Haugland, who trained at Juilliard in New York and is a contemporary ballet choreographer, and then Pontus Lidberg, who's from Sweden. He's more of a contemporary choreographer, and his language is sort of soft shoe based. It's not point shoe based, so it's a little bit more contemporary than the other two. So there's a nice mix in there.
And I think also, you know, the costumes, you know, that speaks as well. So you've got to have that going along with the show.
This is an uncostumed evening. Okay. This is a really kind of raw event where the audience kind of almost, I mean, we're almost not really lighting it as well. It's almost like they're coming in and sitting in on a rehearsal. And we've made some short films that sort of have illustrated the rehearsal process that's been going on over the past, you know, 10 days or so. Yeah. So it's really, I think it's a really fascinating, fun way to meet the dancers, meet the choreographers, and understand how, you know, how our world kind of fits together.
Yeah, and then there's a perfect prelude to Friday night.
Yeah.
And tell us how that's going to go.
Well, it's been an interesting couple of days because we've been suffering from a couple of injuries as well, which has been quite tricky, and maintaining that. And we're a very small group, so it looks like the program may even shift a little bit on Friday, but we're prepared for that, so that's good. It's going to be it's a beautiful night. We have, I mean, just the musical range of the evening. It starts with a kind of a romantic piece with songs. We've got 2 live singers and a pianist. Songs by Chopin and Kurt Weill as sort of a mix, which is an interesting sort of juxtaposition of 2 very different eras of music. Then we go into a ballet called One, which is a new piece, which is created by Annabella Ochoa Lopez, a choreographer from Amsterdam. It's much more contemporary and kind of physical and muscular, and it's quite a spectacular piece.
Oh, wow. And
then we have an intermission, and the second half is a classic pas de deux by Sir Frederick Ashton called The Dream, which comes from the Midsummer Night's Dream. And it's the ultimate, the sort of final moment of the ballet when Titania and Oberon reconcile. I think it's going to look beautiful in the setting, because that's kind of why I picked it, because I thought this will be a really visually beautiful thing with the trees and the plants and the mountains. It just seemed perfect. And then we finish with Fool's Paradise, which will be the Vail premiere of, as I said, of the piece that we began here last year. So it's sort of come full circle. Yeah.
Okay, all right, thanks so much for coming on.
My pleasure.
7:30 tonight at the Valar, and then 7:30 at the Ford on this weekend on Friday. We'll be back tomorrow.